This is called Emunas Yisrael, the Emunah of the Jewish people. It's in the middle of a section. So he says, "Omer kedevarim bezehu ki ha'inin de hakraves HaOmer hanaseh v'chol shem v'shem l'tzorech binin hamalchus v'shlemusa." Right. So the depth of the matter regarding the Omer offering, because that's what was brought. Right. First day of the Omer, we brought an offering to the base of Mikdash, and barley, and everything was refined, and then we started counting. Right, we don't do that now, but that's what the Omer was. We counted every day, and he says, what was the point of that? What was the point of that specific offering? The truth is, all korbanos are pretty much for the same thing. But he says, what this specifically was for this, and what was that? He says, binin hamalchus, the 10th Sefira, right? 10 Sefiras, the last one's the malchus. The malchus is the projection of the light of Hashem into the world. O Malchus Shemai, right? Malchus Hashem, right? And on that day, his kingdom, he'll be king over the entire world. So, a Malchus means there's a king, and the Malchus are the people who are loyal to the king, and they do what he says to do, and he takes care of them. It's a two-way relationship, basically, and that's history. We're here to build the Malchus. There's different ways to define the purpose of a person, the purpose of life. We're doing that different ways, different angles, and this thing, tikkun, all these different things. But the main thing we're doing over here, it's like we're building a palace for the king. The Jewish people's job is to make this world hospitable to the Shekhinah. So the same way, for example, you're going to build a building, and you go to an open field. There's trees and there's rocks. And, you can't just put the building down. First you clear away the trees, and then you take away the rocks, and you dig a foundation, a hole, and you build it, and they go from the bottom up, from scratch, until the building is up. So the same thing also. The Jewish people are here to rectify themselves, right? And then to rectify the world and make this world a place where the divine presence can dwell amongst the Jewish people, amongst the world, not just the Jewish people first, and then in the whole world, the base of Mikdash. And that's what we're supposed to be doing. So he says the Omer offering was specifically that did that. When you brought the Omer offering to the base of Mikdash, then that had the impact spiritually on the world to add to the Malchus, to build it. Because everything we do basically is mataka. I mean, the sod of karbanos alone, there's 4 parts to it. There's the salt, there's the wood that you use to burn the karbanos, there's the animal, there's the person who brings it. So there are 4 levels of reality. We call that scham, Kabbalistically, which stands for domim, someach, chaya, and medaber. These are the 4 levels of reality, spiritually, physically. Domim is the mineral world. Can't speak, right? It's silence, right? So that's the rock, mineral world, right? That salt belongs to. It's a mineral, right? Someach is vegetation, so the wood comes from that. The chaya is the wild, the chayas is the animals, right? And medaber is man because he speaks. That's what defines us as people. Kosh Baruch Hu put the power of speech into man. That makes us divine. But this has a unique property. Why? Because it's brought between Pesach and Shavuos. And a very important part. It's not just the Omer. It's the opportunity. It's the moment. Because every moment is a skula for a different tikkun. Every chag is a different portal to a different level of reality, that we can do certain things we can't do so easily the rest of the year. The Rambam says, of course you can do tshuva and have kapara all year round. But there's something unique about Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur that makes it easier, that makes it more successful in the end. So you have to really focus and use the opportunity. Pesach is man cherusenu. It's a time specific to break away from the bonds and shackles of the physical world. Man Torah Senu is true. It's a time to connect to Har Sinai like never before, which is why we changed the Tami Mikra. We read the Sefiras Dibros because it's a different level of reality. We don't read the same when we do all year round, right? Parashat Yisrael also we change it to because the Sefiras Dibros it's a different level of reality. So we're accessing the higher level of reality through a higher level of Tamim on the Torah by taking the leaven out of the bread.
Right.
Which represents the Yetzer Hara.
Right.
What is the Yetzer Hara for? What's the main point of the Yetzer Hara? How does it get us the most, the Yetzer Hara? By making us, make our priorities that the world of Gashmias matters more to us than the world of Ruchnius.
Right.
So, I want to sleep in 50 more minutes, but you're going to be late for davening. And you know what happens when that happens. You have to rush the Pesukah Zimre, put on your tefillin really fast, you know. Okay, but 50 minutes of sleep. Now, of course, when you're lying in bed, it sounds fair. It's a good cheshbon, right? As you're racing to put on your tefillin and you're trying to catch up and you're studying over the words, you say, "Oh, what a lousy davening am I ever having?" Tomorrow morning, I'm out of bed on time, right? And this is what goes all the time. We're always, doing things in life where we're sacrificing something. Either you're sacrificing the gashmius or you're sacrificing the ruchnius. So let me tell you a sod of the Omer.
Yeah.
Okay? In the Torah, the first time the word Omer shows up is where? By the man.
By the man?
Yeah. It's a measurement.
Oh, yeah?
Omer is a measurement. The man fell 1 Omer per person every day. Right? In the Chumash, when it writes the word Omer, it's written Chaser, without the Vav. Ayin Mem Resh. The gematria of Omer is equal to
Ayin Mem Resh.
Yeah, Ayin Mem Resh without the Vav is equal to 310.
Okay.
Which is the word Yesh. Okay? Now that might sound like nothing significant, except the Gemara in Sanhedrin says that in Olam Haba, Kosh Baruch Hu gives every tzaddik Yesh Olamot. 310 worlds. And the Darshan's on a pasuk with the word Yesh inside of it, right? So what is that supposed to mean? Simply, you only have what you have. You only have another way of saying
what you've earned.
Well, yeah, whatever Hashem gives to you. Right?
There in Olam Haba.
No, in this world.
In this world.
In this world, right? The Gemara says a remarkable thing. The Gemara says that the reason why Yaakov Avinu went back for Pachim Katanim is because tzaddikim are chasa am mamona yatim megufo, right? They're more concerned about their property than their physical body. Yaakov Avinu risked getting in danger, right? Fighting with a stranger, to go back for a few small jars. Now those weren't just any few small jars, but that's a Hanukkah story. That's a different story, right? But the point is, the Gemara says that they don't want to give up on their property, so therefore they take risks. Now, the first time I saw the Gemara, and the second time, and the first 10 times I saw the Gemara, I thought to myself, this is not what I'm used to hearing. Tzaddikim, I thought, were the people who don't care about their property, and they're more concerned about what matters the most in life, and
spirituality.
And give up, a few small jars. What's the big deal?
Spirituality.
And then the Gemara comes back with an answer to explain this, which it didn't have to do, but it does, and it makes it more problematic. Why do they go back?
Why about the property?
Yeah, why are they so concerned about their property more than their bodies? The Gemara says because they shouldn't be poisha yedayim begzela.
Which means
that they should not stretch their hand out to steal. Because you had these small little jars and now they're missing.
You might want to get
you need some, so you look around and say, whose can I take? It's like, oh, he's got some, right? He won't miss those, right? And that's your tzaddik. A tzaddik is somebody who, even if he needs it, and he finds justification to steal it, is not going to steal it more than likely because it's the wrong thing to do, and he puts right before wrong.
Right.
So what is he worried about? Yaakov went back for a few small jars because he was worried that if I give them up later on, then they'll all steal them. Again, these are things we take for granted, but you have to work out. You can't just learn it and move on. You have to, what does that mean?
Right.
So we see, for example, by Yaakov Avinu and Esav, the whole discussion about Yeshli Rav, Yeshli Kol, right? Yaakov says, I have everything I need, and Esav says, I have more than I need, but he still wants more, right? You want 100? Then you get 100, you want 200, you got 200? Right? That applies to Esav, not to Yaakov, because Yaakov says Yeshli Kol. As he says, Yeshli Kol, Rashi says, what it means? Yeshli must speak. But how can you say that? How can you know what tomorrow's going to bring? There are bills coming you don't even know about yet, right? There are floods that might happen. How can you say Yeshli must speak? You could say, okay, for the moment I do now, and therefore what we learn from this, a person has to be samech bechelko.
Okay,
right.
But
how can you be? That's the famous joke. I will be happy with my portion when Hashem gives it to me. I'll be happy with it. But in the meantime, I don't have it. Right? That's the classic answer to that whole problem. And how many people are like that? Yeah, there's lots of people who are besmecha, they got billions of dollars, right? And they're happy with their portion, right? But the guy who's struggling to put food on the table, how can he be happy with his portion? Right? The guy can't pay his bills and he has a worry or pay for weddings and goes from gemach to gemach to gemach, day after day after day. It's wearing him down. It's killing him. You should ask a shaila. But still, So this is the point that Yaakov is making, right? Yaakov is not saying that he's going to steal somebody else's property. Yaakov is saying the following thing. He's saying that everything I have comes from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. If I have small little jars, they're from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and they're meant to be mine. I have a paper clip. HaKadosh Baruch Hu put the paper clip in my possession. It's meant to be mine. Right. That means at some point in time, I will be able to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu with this paper clip. When? I don't know. How? I'm not sure yet. But I know one thing for sure. If I am a vater on this paperclip and I wantonly throw it away, right? If I leave these jars, be like, who needs these jars? We're moving the house. Everything we're going to take everything with us. You know, like, if I give up, if I'm a vater on those jars, and then later on down the road we have Shabbos guests, and someone said, my wife says, what can we use for the candles for these guests? And if only I had those small little jars. I don't have them now. So what do I have to do? I have to go buy other new jars, right? So it's called stealing. Why is it called stealing? Because everybody has a chelik. That's what the Mishnah is telling you. It doesn't say you have to be happy with a portion, your portion, meaning it's your portion. You may disagree, but Hashem says, this is what I give to you today at this moment. That's your portion. If you force, so to speak, HaKadosh Baruch Hu to give you something beyond your portion, it's ki'ilu, you're taking that which does not belong to you. And tzaddikim, for you and I, that's
sensitive.
For you and I, that's not called gezerah.
Right,
that's called going to the local store, buying something else, and coming home.
Right. But they're sensitive to that.
Exactly.
Because
they're so.
What was given to them.
So this is the concept of yesh. Yesh li kol.
Right.
Yesh. Yesh li kol versus yesh li ra. The idea of Yaakov, yesh li kol, means that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives to me what I need at any given moment in time.
Right.
Things start going awry when I start wanting more than my portion. When I start getting jealous, or I have a taiva for this thing, right? How many times in life did you not need a second car until you saw your neighbor buy a second car? Or how many times in life did you not need to buy a new suit until someone else bought a new suit? Or how many, so many times, like the Gemara says, the eyes are the spies of the heart. Until you see something, you're not interested necessarily. But you see it, okay, sometimes it's good. It shows you what you should have, and therefore, maybe you should go after it. But so often, it has to do with taiva. It has to do with gaiva, taiva, different things like that. And then you want more than your portion. And then you start twisting your reality, your life to get it. Right, and everything is because it goes strange. So Pesach comes along and says the following thing. It says you have to get back to yesh, right? Get back to bear. Who are you? What do you have? What belongs to you? What's your portion in life? And focus only on that.
And what's the connection with Omer again?
So the gematria of Omer is yesh. Right? To teach you, right, that's what the Omer was. Because after all, what was the Omer in the man? The man was exactly. You couldn't have more. You couldn't even have less. In the end, you couldn't even choose to have less because it became an Omer if you took too little. If you took too much, the extra rotted. To teach you that you have exactly what HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives to you. Right. In that lies the idea of chayvus. That's freedom. The person who knows that and can absorb that message, that is a free person.